So I'm going to take a bit of a break from sort of cleaning and polishing up metal and have a bit of a think about what I'm going to be doing as far as the inside of it's concerned. As I said, I've had it in mind with this project to do a bit of a cutaway section so that you can see what the internal workings of the ship look like. And I've just started spreading out the bits and pieces of junk that I've been collecting over the years, just to see what I've got in the way of sort of curious bits of shapes and pieces and things that I might want to sort of incorporate into the internal structure of it. Apart from some lighting that I do want to add into it, I'm pretty much just going to let this sort of grow out of my own imagination. I have got a basic sort of reference drawing that I'm going to refer back to, but this is not necessarily anything that's hard and fast that I'm going to stick to. It's more of just a drawing that sort of sparked the inspiration for coming up with a cutaway section. I might incorporate a couple of elements that's in this, but for the most part, as I said, I'm just going to sort of see what I've got in the way of bits and pieces and just sort of let it evolve out of the bits that I've got. I've made up a dividing piece for where the Martian's going to sit behind that sort of cockpit area, and it's going to have a little bit of stuff going on in there that's sort of dedicated to that little character. So that leaves me with this entire sort of back section that I can fill in, and it'll be viewed through that sort of side port that'll be that removable sort of piece. At the moment I'm leaving that bottom keel piece off just to give me a little bit better access in terms of placing pieces in there, and that should allow me to sort of work out what I'm doing as far as the lighting is concerned and the wiring that I need to run from both the front and back sections of it. At this stage I'm thinking that I'll be using a green light in that back area and probably a bright white light in this area, which should shine through the green piece that I'll be mounting on that front section. So really what I'm going to do is just play around with sort of the individual sort of component pieces that I've got and sort of see what I can come up with on a sort of a little invention per invention sort of piece, and then combine them all together so that it gives me that interior look that I'll be going for. Obviously, to get all the lighting and stuff the way I want it to, I need to incorporate some real wiring into it, but as much as possible I want to hide that sort of wiring from view. So I'm making up some cable covers out of this stuff, which is aluminium flashing, and by cutting off really thin strips of it I can use my drill and a piece of rod to make up varying sizes of cable sheath, and these will both represent the tentacles that will come off the bottom of the ship, which have got the solid core wire that runs through them, and then I've twisted it into shape to get the effect of the tentacles that I'm after. And then I've used that same sort of technique to put it over the real wiring that will provide the power for the lighting components on the inside. And I've been able to make them up in varying degrees of thickness to get the sort of look that I'm going for with, rather than just plain old wires that would be running through. So these are the elements that I've made up that sort of represent one thing or another that I'm going to be incorporating into the internal workings of it. But they haven't yet been put in there as a complete sort of set, so I may have to cut and modify them a little bit better so that they fit within the space that I've got to work with. The one thing I am going to be doing though is backlighting it from the side that can't be seen, or the side that's not cut away, so the light can sort of shine through the component pieces that are there and pick up the little glass elements and all that sort of stuff as well. I've got it set up really temporarily at the moment so you can see what I mean in terms of the lighting. It's just the 3 different colour setups that I've used in the past, with the green, the red or the blue, and then you can sort of mix colours together. I haven't really decided on which colour I like so much just yet, other than I'm pretty sure I don't like the red colour. I'm leaning towards probably either the green or the blue as a backdrop, but I'm going to wire it up in such a way that I've got access to those anyway. It might even be nice to sort of set it up in such a way that it can sort of cycle through colours, give an internal effect sort of like that. But nonetheless, I think it'll look quite effective once it's all lit up with the components in place. So now that I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to try and fit inside, I need to finalise the polishing of this main body piece so that I can permanently put in place the wiring, as well as run a secondary wire section through to where the lighting's going to be for the cockpit section. And I haven't entirely decided yet, but what I think I'll probably end up doing is running the power wires up through the back leg and down to the foot, so that I can do a plug-in power source for it so that I don't have to worry about batteries, and then I'll incorporate a hidden switch into the mechanism for when the cover comes off. Anyway guys, that's the update for this time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.